All right, so in this one, we're going to use a graph to answer questions, just kind of interpreting what does it mean when we look at the graph and when we see a line with a constant rate of change. So there's a little bit of an exploration. It is some of the homework questions, but I think it's a little bit more of an exploration type question. You have to really think about it to kind of understand what's going on within the graph. So we have Yoko makes house calls for each. She's paid a base amount and makes additional money for each hour she works. The graph below shows her pay in dollars versus the number of hours she worked. So use the graph to answer the questions. I'll pull those up in just a moment, but first we're going to kind of think about it and look at how does making money work. So if we think about how we make money, hopefully we understand at this point, because this is at least the 8th grade class, that we have to work a certain number of hours and we make money every hour. So that's if you get paid hourly. There's other ways to get paid as well, as far as like salary and things like that, but we're going with hourly pay for right now. So every hour you work, you tend to get a certain amount of money, right? So that's exactly what we're looking at here. So when working, the pay will depend on the amount of hours of work. So the more hours worked, the more pay received. So this is a direct relationship or variation between hours and pay. The more hours I work, the more I get paid. The less hours I work, the less I get paid. So there's a direct change depending on how many hours I work. And the pay changes with the hours. So that's kind of the relationship. And we see that here. As the hours are going up and up and up and up, the pay is also going up, right? So with this next one here are the questions that they want us to look at. So what is Yoko's pay for house call if she doesn't work any hours? So if we take a look at the graph here and I go over to the side and I say, well, here's 0 hours, she's not getting 0 pay. We have to go up to where does the graph start? So she actually is getting $40 for not doing any, for no hours. She just gets her $40. So what is her pay if she works for 1 hour? So if I click back on that, it started to go without me. So here's 1 hour. I have to go up to the graph and then I have to look to the side here because that's where it tells me the pay. So it's $50. So she gets $50 if she works for 1 hour. But remember, that includes the $40 she would have also gotten for not working that 1 hour. So how much does her pay increase for hours worked? For this one, I want to know what's the difference between the two. What's the difference between the 40 and the 50? Because this is her starting point, and this is after 1 hour. So she only gets paid $10 for the hour, not really 50, 10. She already had the 40, and then she worked an hour and got an extra $10. So are the amounts given in parts B and C equal? Why or why not? Choose the best answer. So if I'm looking at parts B and C, well, no, they're not equal, because B says $50 for 1 hour of work, but C says it only goes up $10 per hour of work. And that's because we're not starting at 0, 0. So it's not exactly proportional on this one. It is a line, it's linear, it has a constant rate of change, but it's not proportional because that first point is not proportional to the rest of the points. So any other point in between would show that $10 increase. So it would actually be just fine. But the rest of them, because that first one's not a 0, 0, it throws them off. So we would have to go down and look at no, it's not going to be equal. We already know the answer is no because B and C aren't the same. And we just have to answer the question. It's not the same because it didn't pass through 0, 0. So that throws off the proportionality just a little bit there. So that was taking a look at a graph and kind of interpreting what the information on the graph means and how to answer questions using it. So I hope that helped, and I will see you in the next video.